What's going on, everyone? So, the Lakers, playoffs, right? Go hand in hand. It's a beautiful time, beautiful moment. Take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, obviously, we need our guys to step up, play big, both sides of the basketball, defense, offense, all those things. Luka, LeBron, Austin Reeves, be great. Talked about this a lot, right? But a lot of times, it is health, right? Staying healthy, right? You saw Boston's run last year, which I want to start by saying, they won the chip, right? I see a lot, to this day, there's a lot of and look, I'm a Laker guy. It pains me to say it. I hate that Boston won the championship. Don't get me wrong. But it's not their job to wait for guys to get healthy. Well, we'll just play the next round when everyone's better. No, their job is to show up, beat the team in front of you, right? And so people, they didn't play anybody, they didn't do anything like that. Their job is not to worry about that. Their job is to show up and win. And that's what they did, right? So I just, I don't like the whole, that was an asterisk, right? People do the same thing with the Lakers in the bubble. It's not like the Lakers got extra rules or, Lakers got extra rest or anything. Lakers were the best team literally all season. Winning the bubble and we're the best team in the season. That's strange, right? It made no difference. But I digress. Health is a huge benefactor, right? Usually the team that wins is the team that's the healthiest. But you've seen a lot of concerns. LeBron James in particular. LeBron with his groin injury re-aggravated it right during the last game. And it was timeout. Is he going to be okay? Is he going to be good? Is he going to be right? JJ and everyone said he's fine. He was on the sidelines. When LeBron thinks something's going on here, what does he always do? He hightails it to the locker room. You see him all the time do that. He didn't go to the locker room. He went to the side of the bed, stretched it out, and then was waving towels and, whipping people and doing all that stuff, right? He was out there doing his thing. So everyone says he's fine. Why would I believe otherwise? But it is something that they're going to have to watch and monitor. It is something that is of concern that, you need it to work, knock on wood. You need him to be as healthy as possible. LeBron James is on one leg, probably in trouble because there's going to be nights. There's going to be moments. Yes, Luka's going to be the guy. Austin Reeves, what we've seen. You've seen it the last, 7 games or whatever was to end the season where LeBron just kind of picks his spots, right? It's kind of the anchor on the defensive side, which I think he needs to continue to be. Luka and Austin Reeves are doing their thing, and LeBron's kind of plugging in and find a spot. Look, he's LeBron. It's always going to be his team as long as he's on it. He's always going to be the guy. But right now, let the workhorses be the workhorses, right? LeBron knows that. Everyone should know that. Let Luka and Austin Reeves, if they can take you to the promised land, let them take you to the promised land. And then you get to the promised land and it's okay, now you're playing Boston or Cleveland. And it's okay, I got the reserves. Let's go. Because you're probably going to need LeBron for those teams. Probably going to need a healthy, reinvigorated, let's go, here's my chance type of LeBron. Come the Celtics and the Cavs. If LeBron is having to do everything all season or all series and into the second round and the conference finals and all that stuff, he's going to be gassed by the time you get to the NBA finals, right? So, but you need the health. You need him to stay healthy. You need him to be right. You need his body right and that groin to stay, intact and all that stuff, right? I trust him. He'll work it out. He'll be fine. He'll stretch it. Again, I'm not so worried about it, but it is something of concern. Rui Hachimura, right? Same thing. He had that knee injury. He even said himself a while back that hey, I'm not 100%, not good. And Rui might end up being the biggest factor in this Minnesota game, right? Why? Because he's probably going to be the guy that has the mismatch every night. We'll touch on that here in a moment, but Rui recently, luckily, said that he's good and it's continuing to get better and it's continuing to feel better, right? So Again, you need his knee to hold up. You need him to hold up. He's going to be, again, a big piece. He's one of the stronger guys that we have, the lower center of gravity, physical kind of forwards that are on this roster that you can slot in to play the 5 and match up against the bigger guys and kind of, handle the physicality that a Rudy Gobert may present to this Lakers team and all that stuff, right? Like there's a lot that goes into it, right? So Rui, again, in particular with the Minnesota game, but that might be the case, honestly, the entire playoffs. But they're going to go and try to contain Luka, Reeves, and LeBron. That's their goal. That's their motivation. That's who they're trying to slow down, right? So we'll use Minnesota as an example, right? Chances are Julius Randle is going to have to defend LeBron, probably putting Jaden McDaniels on, or a Nah or something like that on a Luka. And then Anthony Edwards is probably defending Austin Reeves, or they're going to put him on Rui Hachimura. If that's the case, Rui needs to be physical and attack him. Again, wear him down over the course of a season, or a course of a series, right? Like, Rui's going to have the mismatch. There's probably going to be a lot of times where Mike Conley is on him. There's probably going to be a lot of times where, a Nah is on him, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. There's probably going to be a lot of times where a Dante DiVincenzo is on him, right? Be a lot of times where you're going to have smaller guys on him because teams are going to be like, hey, if he drops 30, we'll live with it. Well, let him go. Let him, I'm not saying you have to run every bit of your offense and every little thing. Like, I'm not saying like he has to be now your number one option because of Mike Conley, but take advantage of the advantages, right? Capitalize on your advantages. Find and identify the mismatches and capitalize them enough to where that is now a swing factor in your favor. That's what I want to see with the Lakers. Mike Conley is on him. Get Rui the basketball and bully him. Go, right? But what does he need? He needs to be healthy. You need him to have his knee right. You need him to be able to take him and back him down and, get low and kind of body him, right? You need the health. Goes for Luka. Luka's been dealing with little knick-knack stuff all season. When we traded for him, he was coming off of injury, right? He had missed 6 weeks, played, 2 games or whatever, and then missed another week. So he played like 2 games in like a 7-week span, right? There's a lot of things that go into that. You need Dorian Finney-Smith to be healthy and be right? You need Austin Reeves to be able to continue to be healthy and be right? A lot of this is going to be predicated on the health. Right? 2020, Lakers are healthy. Lakers end up winning the championship. 2021, Lakers, for a stretch, were looking just as good, if not better. Dennis Schroeder, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis that season had the best point differential of any other 3 in the league by like a large margin. Right? They were like, I think, a plus 15, or I don't know, it's 12.5, plus 12.5. That's what it was. When those 3 were on the court together. And guess what? All of a sudden, Schroeder ends up getting COVID. He was never the same coming back from that. LeBron James, he ends up, having the injury, and he re-aggravated it right before the postseason. So he was on one leg going into that Suns series, and then Anthony Davis gets hurt, and there goes our chances. Again, knock on wood. But health is usually a big factor. Warriors, they go on their run, health. Right? A lot of people point to like, hey, that 2022 Warriors team got a couple lucky breaks. Sometimes it's just your year and the dominoes fall into place. All right, but you need to be healthy. Our training staff has been fantastic. Our medical team and our training staff has been fantastic. Again, knock on wood, because this is something that needs to be talked about, something that needs to be addressed. But if you notice, the Lakers have been very healthy this year, given the circumstances of an 82-game season, right? And when guys do go out, they're back and they're usually fine, right? Think of like the guys that missed a good majority early on. They were Jared Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent, who were coming off of last season. Lakers revamped their entire medical team. Dr. Sims was the Team USA basketball guy, and then before that was like the track and field doctor or whatever, right? So they've hightailed their entire medical staff and training staff and all that stuff because they were like, hey, we need to be the best in the league. right? It was part of like the whole thing. If you remember, when we hired JJ Redick, they wanted to build the culture and the standard, and they wanted to be a place for development and health and all that stuff where you could come and, hey, you're gonna get the best doctors and the best treatment, which should have always been the standard because you're the Lakers and you're in LA and you have like UCLA Medical and all these other high prestigious, medical field. Like, you should have been this from the beginning, but I digress. Point is, they have it now and they should be, and they need to make sure that they're right. Taking care of yourself, take care of your body, making sure you're getting it right? Lakers need to make sure that they are executing, doing what they need to do, play to the best of your ability, do all those things, but you're going to need a little help from the basketball gods, right? Going to need a little, nudge in your favor from time to time. Like I said, sometimes it's just the dominoes fall into place. Like every couple years, there's a team. I mean, you could argue every year. You kind of like, oh, okay, it's just going to be their year, right? Like, the 2022 Warriors was that team that you were kind of like, I mean, even they were like, yeah, we didn't like, because they were terrible for like a large majority of that season. And then it just kind of all clicked. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. It's me enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.